Course J again. Got some good stuff for you. So, we know that the biblical Moses was fakery, but the historical Moses was Akhenaten. Lots of books about that. But I'm going to show you what does Josephus have to say about the Moses. So, in the story, okay, the biblical story as well, we're said that this Moses was a Hebrew child, and the mother had him, sent him upstream in a basket, and that the Pharaoh's daughter got him out of the basket and raised Moses as her own. Now, in Josephus's Antiquities of the Jews, he says, quote unquote, that Thermutis was the king's daughter. She was now diverting herself by the banks of the river, and seeing a cradle borne along the current, she sent some one that could swim and bring the cradle to her. When those that were sent on this errand came to her with this cradle, and she saw the little child, she was greatly in love with it on account of its largeness and beauty. For God had taken such great care of him in the formation of Moses that he caused him to be thought worthy of bringing up and providing for by all those that had taken the most fatal resolutions on account of the dread of his nativity for the destruction of the rest of the Hebrew nation. Thermutis bid them bring her a woman that might afford her breast to the child. Yet would not the child admit of her breast, but turned away from it, and did like to many other women. Now Miriam, which was Moses' mother, was by when this happened. So, quote unquote, she was the nurse mother. Okay. Hereupon it was Thermutis imposed that his name Moses upon him, what had happened when he was put into the river. For the Egyptians call water by the name of Mu, and such as are saved out of it by the name of Es. So by putting these two words together, they imposed this name upon him, and he was, by the confession of all, according to God's prediction, as well for his greatness of mind and his contemptness of difficulties, the best of all the Hebrews. For Abraham was his ancestor of the 7th generation. So, what do we have here? So, who was Moses in the story? Who was he really raised by? Well, dear truth seekers, I hate to break it to you. He was raised by a cobra. Okay. Thought I'd bring a little humor to the video. Okay, so there was a cobra, okay, named Renetut, Renenutet, also better known as Thermutis. Yes, Thermutis, Moses' mother, Pharaoh's daughter, okay, stepmother. So, this protective snake goddess, whose role involved in unexpected ways over time, she guarded the king and the farmer's harvests. She was depicted as a raised cobra with the sun disk and horns on her head, or 2 tall feathers and the solar disk. Alternately, Thermutis was shown as a woman with a snake's head, sometimes nursing her son Nepri. While it may seem odd to modern people to personify a protective deity as a poisonous snake, the ancient Egyptians saw it in a different way. By appealing to a dangerous animal, the snake used its powers for the benefit of the people. Plus, the Egyptians undoubtedly noticed that beneficial snakes ate rats, birds, and other vermin that threatened their crops in the field and in their granaries. During the Old Kingdom, Thermutis was the guardian of the king on earth and in the afterlife as the Uraeus. She spit fire on his enemies from her perch on his brow. And in the pyramid text, she was said to nourish the Ka of the Pharaoh. Thermutis was also a protector of the king's linen robe and later the linen bandages that wrapped the mummies. Due to her importance to the common people in protecting their livelihoods, Thermutis evolved once again into a household deity who protected children. She was a provider and nourisher of infants. Let's read that again. She was a provider and nourisher of infants, including giving newborns their name. Hello! Tss, found ya. Determining their destiny and how long they would live. Her loving care of her son Nepri paralleled the mother-son relationship of Isis and Horus, and at times Thermutis was said to be Horus's mother. Like Isis, Thermutis' cult survived the rise of Christianity. During the Ptolemaic period, she was renamed Thermutis by the Greeks. Greco-Roman terracottas of the time show Thermutis as a form of Isis with a snake's head on a woman's body. Interestingly enough, Josephus talks about this in the 1st century. According to him, Thermutis is the name of Moses' Egyptian foster mother, although the Bible simply calls her the daughter of Pharaoh. Woo! This is the picture that I'm fixing to show you. Okay, let me see if I can get out of the glare. Okay, see the cobra. Holding the child, feeding it, nursing it. I got this off EgyptianMyths.net. And like I said, the name initially was spelled Renenutet. And then in later renditions, it was, Thermutis Hermothis. You can look this up on your own. I thought that was kind of strange because I was reading this over the weekend and I know in the Bible it says the daughter of the Pharaoh. So we're like, we don't know who that is, blah, blah, blah. We don't know who that is. Okay, now Josephus did say that when Rome ransacked the temple and all this good stuff, that Titus and Vespasian gave him all these wonderful books of the history of the Jews. And I think he did say there was 22 in all. So why is Josephus saying that this woman got Moses out of the water and her name was Thermutis? But the Bible doesn't tell us that. Seems like a lot of wonderful people writing lots of mythology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology, and taking it as truth. Yes, my dear friends, I am sure that the Egyptian word of taking out of the water is Moses, as it is said, and Akhenaten was taken out of the water as well. So, there again, truth seekers, I hope you've enjoyed this wonderful video, and to know that Moses was drawn out of the water and raised by a cobra. Until next time, hope all is well, and we will see you shortly. Goodbye and have a great day. Hotep and Ashe.